because they made a
Now get a Diet Coke.
off the 3D printing, then they made a drive for the
Does he?
drill.
Diet Coke button.
Does he?
Hundred.
Well, they haven't
Fitted
got
over
to
my
press that
teeth
anymore.
perfectly.
So he
Yeah.
just sits there while Trump dances
They
around
put the
it.
drill
with his
through the middle of
style.
it to get a nice spot.
Gentlemen,
Yeah.
Okay.
It is Wednesday, the 19th of February 2025. We're playing Star Trek.
Star Trek. Did you really say Star Wars?
Yes.
Star Wars Trek.
Star Wars Trek.
More trick.
I'm a bad nerd.
Called John O'Trek.
John O'Trek, yes. Pretty much John O'Trek. Okay, so, gentlemen, before, at the beginning of each episode of Star Trek, you guys all know that Star Trek always has a cold open,
Does it?
and we are no exception today.
Are we playing Parcheesi?
No. Okay.
What does a cold open mean?
A cold open, for those of you who don't know what a cold open is, it's when you start the show without any context or anything like that, but you just go straight into the story. And
In media.
there's usually a scene which is referred to as the teaser. So, in the brig, for those of you who don't know naval terminology, the brig is the jail cell aboard the ship.
The jail cell is also known as a confinement area.
Confinement area, but not here. It's called the brig. Okay, so
Sorry.
Or a poo cupboard.
here we have in the brig is... This isn't starting well. Okay, in the brig we have Falmec, who was once known as Will Crusher, but who now is back to having pointy ears and green blood.
I don't remember this at all. What happened?
Last while back, in our last episode of our previous campaign, we had the shocking discovery
So
that
he's now Russian.
he was one. We thought he was one of us, but it turns out he was actually a Romulan.
Oh, that's what a Romulan is.
Yes.
20 years of green blood. Sorry.
So basically, like a Vulcan.
So not a Trekkie.
They're evil
A
Vulcans.
Vulcan with
That's
thicker
the
ridge
non-class.
brows.
Yeah. Okay, so
and bigger sleeve
Shoulder pads.
puffs.
Shoulder pads.
okay now
That's how you know
accordion
they're evil.
arms.
That's how you know they're evil.
Thalmec, because you are conflicted about your identity, you see the security guard who's guarding you, and you realise back before, well, everything, wasn't somebody you actually knew, but it was somebody whose face you would have recognised. Somebody you could have, if you saw them off the ship, you'd sort of vaguely wave in their direction or something like that. Because you are conflicted about your identity, you want to try and convince yourself that you're kind of a normal guy despite everything that's gone on. So you decide you're going to try and engage Ensign Lalmont in conversation.
Off you go.
Where's Ensign Lalmont?
Yeah, where is Ensign? So,
She's over here.
Yep.
So pretty.
thanks.
That's why you're conflicted.
So Lamont
Yes.
is flying the ship.
The pilot.
It's a conversation.
I'm the pilot, Lamont. So who's flying the ship?
The secondary pilot.
Say it's me.
Sorry, Lamont's not grinning. That's just me.
I'm glad you said secondary. So how long do you think the captain's going to keep me in there?
I'm not sure. He hasn't really told me, but I should be off shift soon anyway, so it's not really my issue. That is, if Chief Lomax gets here on time.
Max.
And Lamont, do you really think these are necessary?
Yes.
I want to spend a fate point to see whether I can convince her to take them off.
Okay, you can spend a fate point.
Why is she from? She?
Lalmont is the security officer. Okay.
It's a one-off character. One-shot character.
All right. What I would say is, firstly, what aspect are you using for that?
What aspect I'm gonna use?
You can use aspect or a stunt.
Where are my stunts? So my aspects, I got a high concept trouble and the Kobayashi Maru. Oh, my stunts are down here.
Yeah.
I'll use smooth talk.
Okay, righto. So whatever you next say, Lalmont will believe.
Lalmont.
Within reason. You're smooth talking. You're not magic.
Am I going to walk in on something?
No Jedi mind tricks. Oh, no, that's Star Wars again. Bad me.
I'm a world-class Hammond organist.
Lalmont,
Ooh,
you
are.
and I both know that I have this ship's best interests at heart.
So Lalmont, because Thalmec is a smooth talker, you believe what he just said.
Sure.
And I'd be much more comfortable without these on.
But I can't get to them because you're behind the shield.
At this point, Chief of Security Lomax walks in.
Hey there, dude. How's the prisoner?
Why'd you suddenly become southern?
He seems to be uncomfortable in his shackles.
Excellent. Mission has been achieved.
Okay. At this point,
That was my recommendation.
new thing? Oh, that's your recommendation.
Yes.
What if they were like pink furry shackles? Would they be more
That-
comfortable?
okay, that's going in a weirder direction than I'm comfortable
That
with
would
right
give them
now.
comfort.
Okay, so Lalmont beats a hasty retreat because Lalmont is really wanting a hot meal by now. So, thank you very much for your assistance. By the way, just as what would have happened, if you'd have engaged Lalmont about sports ball, you'd have got further about that.
How did I know?
Well, I don't know.
That was like sports.
I did pick a sporting metaphor because I figured that would be the first thing that Teacher Dave would go for. Apparently not.
I
Okay.
actually thought ask him about how the Giants.
Jono, I've got on my character sheet 2 boxes full of physical stress with mild consequences. I assume
You
I have
can
healed those.
erase
2
those.
boxes of physical stress.
Okay. Now, Lomax,
Got Lomax.
because you have as your Kobayashi Maru aspect, take the fight to the enemy and die honourably, your honour means everything to you.
Yes.
You feel responsible at
Oh,
some
yeah.
level for the fact the man you thought was your friend betrayed your crew.
And possible father-in-law.
You owe it to both your honour and to your friends to make things right, and you need to know what's going on. Pass the...
He cannot. He's incapacitated.
I thought we were going to go into the tea.
Okay, there you go, you have an extra paper.
Almost, but it is not close enough.
So, we meet at last, again as before. Dude. Who's not dude? I have questions for
He's
you,
definitely a dude.
How long was he in cover for?
Mr.
Years.
What is this about?
Will Crusher Sub-Commander Thalmac, they, them, who, it? How do you feel?
Has the universal
About-
translator stopped working?
Kitty
What's that,
cats.
sorry?
Has the universal translator stopped working?
Fine.
Why, what are you referring to? Are you going to put some cats in here as well?
Well, cats is an interesting conversation. Often cats has come between us.
Have you been drinking?
Yes,
I do
but
know
not
that
on
you...
duty.
Well, that's debatable.
That would not be honourable. Well, I'm not there.
Got to say, this conversation has not gone the way I expected, but I'm here
your
for it.
daughter?
What of her?
Well, yes.
What species is the daughter?
She's a cat.
Okay.
Same as our captain.
She
What?
was an adopted daughter. She's Cation.
Same as our captain.
Okay.
Our captain's a cat.
Yeah. That wasn't the bit I was questioning.
So do I leave these guys here looking floundering at the end of?
Lomax, you need to take these off before the captain gets down here because he's going to be quite upset to see that you've put these on me.
Excellent.
But your choice.
No, I think I can justify it.
All right.
You going to try anything there?
You could like attack me or something.
Okay, I'm putting a bullet in the rest of this conversation.
Okay.
Okay, captain's log.
I think that's your
That's
cue.
you.
I should read this.
You should-
But you should
Your
read that.
blocking is even worse than mine, and that's saying something.
Captain's log, stardate 31.095.52. The USS Tamworth is heading back to Earth Starbase for a much-needed refit. Commander Tangaroa has repaired as much as possible of the damage inflicted during our recent adventure in the Romulan Empire, but there are some wounds that Tamworth has that will need much more attention than we can give her out in space. There are also less visible wounds among the crew, although we achieved our goal of finding our chief navigational officer, Mr. Crusher. We discovered he was not who he claimed to be, and we're still absorbing the importance of what we've learned. Commander Lynch, who is not at all related to Section 31, has returned to headquarters for debriefing. I wish I had confidence that we would not be seeing her again. Meanwhile, the crew are trying to return to their regular duties despite the momentous events we have experienced.
I've doubled all the scanning sweeps.
Okay,
Gonna do some science today.
okay. What I would like everybody to do now, everybody except for Thalmet Crusher and Tangaroa. Everybody else, I want you to roll four fate dice. You're not rolling against any skill in particular. I just want to know who gets the lowest roll.
That's gonna not beat me.
I'm not sure.
Okay, so what you get?
No, it's not going to be.
I
I
got
got
two.
I got 4 pluses.
4 pluses,
2 pluses.
I've got a 0 in total.
0 total. Captain?
Mine is
0. Okay, you guys roll off against each other.
Oh.
I've got a -1.
-1. So,
-2.
as it happens, Nevaeus happens to be walking through the cargo bay.
There's 2, yes.
I thought-
Okay, and so she notices something,
You're a
which,
man.
let's face it, is pretty hard not to notice.
So is the USS
Is it
Tamworth
notice? It says if you notice
Is
this
the
notice,
USS Tamworth?
you'll
Go
notice
on.
this notice is not worth
like
noticing.
a known ship from Star Trek Next Gen? Or
The
something?
type is, but it's not.
No, it's not.
No,
not
it's
a
not.
The
ship.
ship itself
not
is
a-
In
not-
the shuttle
Type of
bay.
ship that's
It's not a
famous,
for-real
but it's-
ship.
He's named it. The
In the shuttle bay, Nevaeus is walking through.
Oh no, it's something
name
Cthulhu.
whatever you want. The
I've
USS
done.
Cthulhu.
No. Almost
You
forgot.
can-
Okay, is this...
Give me a moment,
Yes, I
sorry.
can.
But that's nice.
Okay. Is this something that's written literally on a post-it note? Like, is it being etched with a phaser fire on one of the bulkheads?
No,
it-
this is an aspect that is now in
Privilege,
play,
not a right.
which we can invoke or compel. But since you happen to be in the, take a moment, absorb what is written on that. Now,
so this comes up on a screen as he's walking past.
no, that's an
No.
aspect.
This
Okay,
is an aspect.
This is an aspect that affects a part of the ship, specifically the shuttle bay.
I have no idea what that says, so who knows?
Gravity's
There is
privilege.
a right.
Privilege, not a
It
right.
sounds- It sounds to me something like the gravity impellers which maintain the artificial gravity is called.
Okie dokie. So, right now, in main engineering, Manu Tangaroa is sighing about the fact that he's he thinks, managed to deal with pretty much all of the remaining leftover issues from the ship taking an absolute beating in combat during our last campaign.
It gives us a tiny biplane.
He's really enjoying this moment of peace. Let's give him a moment to really enjoy it.
Time's up.
Time's up. Okay, and suddenly he gets a call.
From Nathers, yes.
Yes.
Chief Engineer, I wish to report there seems to be a minor gravity anomaly down in engineering. Some of the equipment is shifting around and drifting slightly.
After that all. I thought it was a black hole.
Define
Come on.
the drifting around.
Having a variation
should
in
it not
gravity
be-
field
Okay,
is a pretty
now that
bold
he's out
thing to be
of-
happening.
Shouldn't it be all bolted down?
Game, it says causing minor equipment drift, not dangerous,
All
just
gravity on the
irritating.
ship is artificial.
So I presume
We're in
that they're
space.
hovering
It's all
very
artificial,
slightly
so
and
whatever
kind of
happens.
rattling around slowly.
Is
I
that
don't
correct?
know how that works.
Yes, that is correct.
How do you make
So it's all
gravity?
low. It's
Well, I'm allowing him to do a bit of role playing here. So
Yeah,
It's
okay.
sucking you down.
Now this will go over and actually poke at one of the things to see, is it properly secured such that it's only drifting around within a centimetre or so, or can it actually drift across the actual...
you
thing?
poke it, and it actually drifts right across the cargo bay.
Ah, that may be concerning. I shall report this to the Chief Engineer.
Shouldn't he be slightly floating himself, or is he?
Nevis, how do you feel?
I shall do a light jump up and down.
You realise that you are still held to the deck, but you realise that if you jump, you can jump a bit higher than you normally can.
I thought he was going to go.
Yeah.
And just go.
Yeah. Shall report this to the Chief Engineer.
And go. Ow!
Every ship has a sweet spot.
That's true.
It would seem that gravity is greatly lessened and only inertia is keeping things in relatively the same place.
Sounds like bureaucracy.
Well, in an inertial frame of reference, there's no such thing as gravity anyway.
I'm full of jokes tonight. Poo cupboard. Bureaucracy. We've got it all down.
Be that as it
On the
may,
roll.
the practical applications of this is that we have equipment which is drifting around and may perhaps become damaged.
Right, I'll come and have a look.
Okay. So, what are you going to do about it?
Well,
You could report it.
I run a very quick diagnostic on my computer console.
Okay. What you find when you run your diagnostic is that several of the gravitational field emitters have absolutely given out, probably due to combat damage recently.
Okay. How many do we have in stock?
You have an unlimited number in stock because they are something you can replicate if need be. However, the fact that there's a few of them that are damaged is itself probably fairly concerning. So, in other words, you've got a few in stock, and you won't run out of them. You can replicate them and rebuild them, but it is concerning that the cargo bay is not getting full gravity anymore.
Something weird going on.
Okay,
These things are floating around.
I call up all off-duty engineering crewmen.
Okay, you got you call up a few engineers, and you've got a few of them coming in to deal with the problem.
How many of them are offline?
How many? About 6 or 7 of them, and
How
then
long will it take to replace each
we're
one?
talking about an hour's work for each one. So if you've got 7 crew, you could probably do it in an hour.
So they're okay. Yeah, okay. Yep, I hand out assignments and
Okay.
take over the most critical one myself.
Okay, good. And over the next hour or so, you've got yourself got that repaired. So if you can take that off, gravity is no longer a privilege. It is now a right back again. Very well done. Okay, so as you are walking up to the, as you are walking back to main engineer or travelling in turbo lift or whichever it is, because you have this ability to improvise and overcome. It's so much easier when you were in tune with the ship. Because of that, you've just got a sixth sense that something is wrong. You don't really know what it is, but there's a certain platonic sheer wrongness to everything that's going on here. Now, because you've got a really good understanding of the ship, you instantly know that the problem is in. Now, any ordinary person would know that when there's a problem with the warp drive, it will be in one of three places: the warp nacelles, the power transfer conduits, or the warp core. Those are the three places it could be. But because of your knowledge of the ship, you actually have a better idea than that. You instantly feel that it is one of those three. Which one do you feel it is? The warp core, the engine at the heart of the ship, the power transfer conduits that send the plasma from the warp core to the nacelles, or the nacelles themselves? Which one of those three is causing the problem?
The power conduits.
Power transfer conduits. Have a read of that, absorb that, and read it out to everybody.
Plasma fires. The starboard PTC's power transfer conduits have cracked in multiple places, and the magnetic containment field has become weak enough that plasma is now getting into the ship itself. Fires are raging throughout the ship. You need to deal with this situation. The temperature gradient is horrendous.
Yes.
When did that happen?
Something just went wrong, and he knew what it was instantly, just instinctively. So it's the power transfer conduit. He could decide what it was. That's all.
Yeah, I noticed.
Okay, so crew.
Did the other ones also involve us getting fried? Who knows?
Okay, you may have noticed if you are on the starboard side of the ship. By the way, the brig is on the port side of the ship, so no problem for you.
We're still arguing about cats.
Yep.
And Lomax is still in there arguing with Talmet. But the rest of you, you could be anywhere on the ship, so you might be in a place where there's a warp plasma fire.
Okay.
If you are in a place with a warp plasma fire, let the chief engineer know.
How do we determine if the characters are in such a location? Or is that simply
Sounds
our
like we
choice?
decided.
You have a choice.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Are we dead?
I assume it would be the huge alarms going off.
Hey, Chief Engineer, have you seen these fires are going on? Beep, beep.
Yes.
Looks like
I shall
leaking-
report in a plasma fire. I will then try
Looks
and
like
do
leaking
something
plasma
to
to
it,
me.
even if it's a stopgap fix.
Okay, just thinking about it.
I will investigate the local temperature gradient.
All engineering crew, sorry, report back to me immediately.
You get several of them reporting back to main engineering. A few of them say, "I can't get to main engineering because I'm fighting a plasma fire."
Carry on.
Okay. One of the,
Meanwhile, on the bridge.
So those ones that do get to me, how many get to me?
about half of your crew get to you. Some of them are just off shift or whatever. Some of them are fighting fire, so you don't really know how many of them are affected by it. But you've got about half of your team
Have you
available.
made it back to Starbase?
Yeah,
No, we're on the way.
Oh,
I sent
Still in the vast space.
On
okay.
fire.
I'll take the other
Fire.
ones.
With rats in out here.
And the captain is
Yes.
oblivious.
One of them, who's a relatively new person,
Who's the security
sees one
chief?
of the little
And
screens
our
down.
prisoner.
One of them, who's a relative newcomer to the ship, sees one of the screens in main engineering flashing a sort of azure blue.
Yes, it's an innocent sex kitty.
It's the Azure entity again.
Oh, Gremlin's back.
You go to the screen.
Hello, are you able to help us at this time?
The veins of your metal beast weep light and fury. Their lifeblood no longer a silent river, but a storm of unchained fire. The serpent's breath slithers through the corridors, seeking to devour all that is soft and slow. The walls glow with the anger of a wounded god, and soon the air itself will turn against you. Run, little ones, before the embers whisper your names to the void.
Now,
So I take it you're not going to help us?
I think it just did.
I can steady the broken dance, but to do so I must scatter the embers of my own fire into your wounded beast. The glow of me will fade, the song will quiet, and I will drift in the cold, gathering what is lost piece by piece.
Ship's gonna blow up.
I will not end, but I will slumber dim and distant for a long turning of the stars before I am whole again. Will you ask this of me, knowing the weight of the cost?
We would get rid of him.
It's not the Azure that need to get rid of. It's the triple we need to get rid of.
Don't kill the Azure.
Okay. No, just let us know if you think there's anything you could let us.
He seems to be telling us
If
we need to
you can,
abandon the
in
ship.
incredible
We need to
helpful manner you
evacuate.
have so far, help us continue to do.
Well, he did tell you it wouldn't kill him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it sounds like it's really going to fuck him up.
Hurties.
No. We'll deal with it ourselves.
Don't we have a sprinkler system?
I don't know how
Okay.
you, I don't know how you deal with
Nothing like that
plasma.
on the ship.
Okay.
We don't have a method even of telling everyone what's
Fire
happening.
extinguisher.
What about if we dump the plasma core?
Alarms are going off everywhere except where
Dumping,
we are.
dumping the plasma, dumping from the plasma from the warp core will do this. That will work.
Mm-hmm.
There is a catch, of course,
It's
Yeah,
a
I know.
shit
and that is the
long-
getting the ship going
You
again
can fight
afterwards will
plasma
take
with
them some
any
time.
plasma.
And also, is
Oh,
it
by the way,
one
I'm-
way home then?
I'm actually going to say here, dumping the plasma from the warp core is not dumping the warp core. Dumping the warp core would mean that we're stuck here until we could get another starship to bring one for us.
Mm-hmm.
Dumping the plasma simply means a very extreme shutdown.
Do it!
Yep, I'll do that.
Okay, you dump the plasma.
Suddenly the ship stops for no reason.
Everyone on the ship is now well aware of the fact that
We're going nowhere.
we're going nowhere very fast.
Road to nowhere.
We're on the road to nowhere, and now the ship's power has gone down.
I've been
You are staying here.
Emergency power.
Okay, light red glow is visible everywhere. You are now getting calls from everywhere around the ship along the lines of various things like, good news, the plasma is out. What the hell?
Computer, route all my calls. Route all calls from unnecessary officers to the captain.
Captain suddenly receives a large number of requests for help in various parts of the ship.
Is his
Why?
prison
What's
cell
happening?
still up?
What's that, sorry?
Is his prison cell still up?
That's a good question. You are still down there.
Yes.
Roll for security.
Should be,
I am security.
because
Okay.
Zero.
Zero.
0.
So what's your
So what's your security skill normally?
Oh, that's a good
Yeah,
idea.
it probably is good.
Number 3.
So it's a total of 3.
Good.
You see that it's gone. You see the power has gone down, but because you are a dab hand with security, you know exactly how to check and make sure that the brig is still operational, and it is on a different set.
My finger is burnt. It still works.
Okay, so Falmic is disappointed to learn that the brig has not shut down.
You will have to stay here.
I wasn't going anywhere.
Now I will manually make my way to the bridge.
And the incidental music is still happening for some reason. It runs off an emergency generator.
It's only 5 miles of Jeffrey tubes.
Okay, so
Then
so
it changes to girls.
the good news is the ship is secure for the moment.
Mm-hmm.
It is possible to get in a short while. Tangaroa and his crew of crack specialists have managed to get the impulse drive on. Now that's not enough to get us where we want to go, but it is enough to restart main power. So the ship does have power, but it is currently going nowhere. Which leads us to the bridge right now. Now, on the bridge, most of the people who are on the bridge doing things at the moment are just your regular disposable characters.
Bridge goons.
However, the person who is in charge of the science station is currently Benji Mbuzi. Benji is taking his his shift as in charge of science, and the person who is currently on the con, the person who's technically in charge of the whole ship, because everybody has their shift, is Lieutenant Navas. So, the engineering staff have managed to prevent catastrophic failure, and the warp engines being offline, impulse is back online, main power is restored, and so what you guys are now doing is you are just going through the regular diagnostics and tests just to make sure everything is operational. So, Nevaeus and Benji, you're working together on this one. So, what I'd like you to do now is to just go through the aspects of the ship that you know about, and we'll see where we go from there.
So aspects of the ship, including power, shields, life support.
Those sorts of things, yes. So, pick something and let me know, and I'll let you know how it's going.
Okay. Well, we don't need to roll. I take it then. Okay. In that case, start with power.
Would you believe that was exactly what I was trying to do?
Yes.
What was he trying to do?
Stack them all up by flipping it.
Okay. You're looking at the main power.
Yes.
Main power is fully operational and functional. You don't need to worry about that one. That's good.
Okay.
Navigation systems.
Navigation systems. I'm just going to put an aspect for you.
I cannot read orange on black.
What's wrong? Do you want me to look? What do you look after?
I'm looking for the brig. I don't know where it is.
So, impulse power. Okay, oh, sorry. Yep, there's the master display. Impulse power, imprecise steering.
I don't think we have.
Ah! Ow! Ah! That is a problem.
Am I supposed to do something? What am I supposed
Well, you're supposed to start trying to figure something out about it.
We have imprecise steering.
Yeah, with the impulse engines back, the ship is holding position, but drift is affecting orientation. Helm really does need to compensate somehow.
Okay. Just before we do anything with that, I mean, Naves is busy with her own task at the moment and probably can't do this in game, but are we actually drifting towards anything like coasting on momentum on anywhere which might be dangerous and which it becomes urgent to get that back under control?
Okay, at the moment, the lateral array, sensor array doesn't reveal anything particularly dangerous in the area.
Okay.
You're actually lucked out. This happened while you're in a fairly flat area of space. So there's not much in the way of planets or asteroids.
How do we know our steering is imprecise?
Because when you ran a diagnostic, you found that Starfleet has buoys all over the galaxy.
So it's based off bounces off buoys.
It bounces off buoys, so
Okay.
it's a very complicated thing, but it works. So you know that things are a little bit dodgy.
Okay, we're gonna establish a backup system.
Yep.
For determining our position based on star configuration. It's rough, but it'll work in a pinch if our steering system completely fails.
Okie dokie. Do you want to roll? Do you want to roll for science on that one?
Yes,
Okay, go for it.
because we know where we are.
Yep.
X, Y, and Z with maybe a little bit of uncertainty, and we know the stellar configuration around us.
Mm-hmm.
What it should be from our perspective, facing in any particular direction.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a niggy on the ones, niggy one
And what's your science?
on the 4, which makes it a 3.
Okay, 3 is still perfectly good enough. You have solved that issue, so you can remove that particular aspect from there. Okay, so any other systems you'd like to check?
Life support.
Life support. Life support is functioning happily. That was one of the things that for some reason the engineering crew were very hot on making sure that the life support was working.
Most commendable of them.
I guess it's related, but what's hull pressure looking like?
Hull pressure, you do not have any real any problems with the hull at this point.
So what I mean by that is effectively the atmospheric pressure inside the...
Yeah, the atmospheric pressure inside the spacecraft is fine.
Yeah.
There does not appear to be any leaks.
Right.
Okay.
I'm not sure what the phrase is, but if we actually had the plasma conduits actually be weakened and fail, are there any other parts of the ship other than the hull which we've just checked, which we can do a diagnostic on?
Okay.
Things like the elevators, internal floors, doorways working.
Okay. Yes, basically those sorts of internal electrical applications. You roll engineering.
I'm worried about this shot.
My engineering is 3. I get a total of minus
Why do we
1
have a
gives me a
shark?
total of 2.
In storage.
You see nothing on the engineering that gives you any particular cause for alarm. Everything seems to be okay with that.
Actually, just weirdly enough, I could feel it.
You're imagining it just because it's not turned on. You can't feel shit.
Yes, by the way, there's all sorts of little Easter eggs in the
There's a shark on the Tamworth.
in the Enterprise. There's actually a rubber duck in one of the shuttle rays.
There are beluga whales on the Cerritos.
Well, yes, but they're
To
supposed
be
to be
honest,
there.
because of the size of the printout, it's actually. I need a magnifying glass.
I think
There's-
I find the yellow on black a bit hard to
Yeah.
read. It's like
Okay.
It looks
There's
cool
some-
until
there's
I don't know.
trees there, but I assume that's the holodeck. Or
Are there any other
it's the arboretum.
Arboretum.
any other systems you guys want to check?
The arboretum.
The Arboretum. The Arboretum is. You'll be delighted to know the Arboretum is functioning perfectly.
Excellent.
communications are supposed to be the other one.
Okay. Hang on, here we go.
Yes. What actually matters on a ship? We need to know where we are and where
Ship
we're
lights
going.
important.
We need to be able to breathe.
Yeah.
We need.
And not freeze to death.
We need to all that life support stuff.
Communications. Can you hear me?
We need.
Okay.
Internal comms are lagging intermittently. Nevada's orders a system check, but everything just seems within normal parameters. But something is wrong.
What is going on? This is wacky.
I know what you should check, but unfortunately I'm in the brig. Come down and ask.
Well, what you could do is you could ask the ensign in the brig to report, or suggest something.
Okay.
No? Okay.
Let me think. Well, it wouldn't occur to us to actually ask
I'm
you.
not the ensign in the brig.
How
I don't think
could
I'm
I
answering the
go
brig
about
either.
doing a check on the communications?
You might be.
I'm not an ensign.
Oh, hold on a second.
Or
Is there something
in
which is
Star
actually
Wars, I'm a
slowing
captain
down
captain.
internal communications, like those lines of communications, the physical wires, are actually being used for something else?
roll on operations.
Operations is 4. I roll a +1, so it's a total of 5.
Okay, you are absolutely certain you know what's wrong, and more importantly than that, you think you know which particular isolinear chip in the box you need to change to fix it.
Okay. So what? One of the chips is either burnt out or is double processing.
You walk over to the place, and sure enough, the one that you thought was burned out is burned out.
Okay.
So it turns out to be a simple replace.
Okay.
Now, this time, instead of actually getting rid of that, because you succeeded very strongly, you've got crisp communications.
Oh, that's
Meow,
excellent.
meow, 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 meow.
What this means is that if somebody desperately needs communications at some point, that's an aspect you can compel or invoke.
What
Oh,
did you say?
Because it's only, these
right, okay.
ones are temporary aspects, so you can only really do it once. But
Yeah. That's internal communications. What about external communications? The nearest was Federation Starboy, which we use for echolocation and
Well,
basic.
yeah.
setting.
If we're communicating via Starboys, we're already getting imprecise coordinates from them.
okay, send a test message. You don't have to roll for anything.
Oh, okay.
You send a test message.
Have the Romulans surrounded us with their stealth ships? Is that what's happened, Dave?
Okay. A garbled transmission from long-range communication briefly cuts through on an unrelated channel.
Unusual.
Everything's unusual.
What is the contents
unusual.
of that communication?
You try and hear it again, but it seems to be gone.
Zero.
It's just, it was there before and it's not there now.
I shall take note of the fact that it was there,
Mhm.
and then
What was there and
proceed
what is
with
in there?
proceed with actually a test of the I'm blanking on the word. The just basically checking communications between the Starboy, just to make sure that things are within operational parameters.
While you are
Thingy.
while you are dealing with all this, one of Moosey's newer ensigns comes up to talk to him and looks really, really hesitant and says, "I don't know if I should bother you about this or not."
Bother me about it.
Okay.
I won't be bothered.
Are you sure?
I don't. Well, tell me. Then
Roll,
I'll
roll on empathy.
Tell me, and then I will decide.
Roll on empathy. Let's see if you.
I'm
Can...
trying to be curious and cheerful right now.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, what's your empathy like?
I have no idea. Apparently, garbage. It's not on there.
It's not on there, so
You don't have any.
it counts as 0.
You have no empathy.
So you got an empathy of 1 at the moment.
I got an
But if you're a
empathy of one.
But if you're a cheerful ensign, you might pay a fate point to
To be cheerful and friendly.
friendly and cheerful.
Out with it, son.
Okay, all right. So because of that, the young ensign is heartened, and he says, "I was looking on the lateral array, and there's something weird. I just saw something, just for a moment,
Just for a moment.
and then it was gone
On the lateral array.
on the lateral array."
Now,
For those of you who don't know, who aren't Star Trek fans from way back, the starship has the primary sensor array and it has the lateral array.
from the sides.
Yes. Well, the lateral array is often used by people who are just doing extra stuff in the background.
Retreads.
So whilst the main array is being used for a particular job, the lateral array can do other things.
Do we have a recording?
I tried to record it, but all I could get was just gibberish.
Let us inspect this gibberish.
Okay, because you are curious, you feel the need to actually look this up completely. You feel like you have to investigate this thoroughly.
It could be nothing, but it could be something.
It could indeed. Roll on science.
Ow, poozers.
Okay,
2.
2. Okay. Now,
But have you added your science thing to it?
Yes.
Yes.
Add your
yes, he did,
science.
unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
4 minus
4.
2.
Oh,
So you had a
2.
Sucks.
Okay, look at your stunts, look at your aspects. Is there anything that you might be able to,
Nothing.
to use?
Nothing.
like, say, tries alternatives?
Nothing.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay.
Let's look at this in a different perspective.
Okay, pay a fate point.
God.
There we go.
Which means I reroll.
Well, you
Or
can
take-
re-roll or you can take an extra 2. Which
Well, just take an extra 2 because
Okie dokie.
4.
That brings you up to what? Sorry,
4.
4. Okay. There is
Surely
a
that's
definite.
good enough.
There is a definite artificial signal off in the distance.
Artificial.
You are able to not only identify that it is artificial, you are also able to get a directional fix on it.
All right. Well, it's time to inspect the star map.
Now, hang on a moment.
I didn't know what it is still.
Maybe it's a ship containing Ron Howard's midget brother.
Behold, we are the trumpet of patriots.
Oh God, no!
Goodness.
The trumpet of patriots coming this way to you.
Okay. So, a short while later, everybody has been recalled to the bridge,
What sort of psycho things have the name like
and we have a captain's log supplemental.
Now that the warp engines are back online, we have a rare opportunity. Our science team have detected an artificial signature emanating from an unknown system several sectors away. The Tamworth is a science ship, so our duty is clear, we must investigate. The senior staff are all at their duty stations, and once we have made a status check, we will walk to the source of the signal.
that? So I'm still trapped in the Jeffries tubes.
Now, do we think that this whole ship, turning on fire and dumping our plasma core, was that just a happy accident?
Are
Or
we supposed to have two pieces of paper here?
No, that's one piece of paper, but it's got two sides.
Oh my god. But all paper has two sides.
Well, you should be on the go side. There's a no-go and a go side for each person.
You do have a no-go and a go.
Okay,
No-go,
so
go.
you are conducting your status checks, and the way you're going to do this is you're going to, in a moment, when I give you the signal to do so, those of you who are manning a department are going to roll one fate die.
Manning an apartment.
Now, if you roll a plus, you put your sheet on the go side.
Okay.
If you roll a minus, you put it on the no-go side. If you roll a blank, you can decide whether you want it to be go or no-go. Does that make sense to everyone?
Go gadget.
So roll one fate dice. Captain is different.
one
The captain,
fate dice.
your job is to decide are we good to go on the status that we've got. So roll one fate die.
I get to decide.
pants?
Okay, engineering is no-go. Okay, so let's go through our departments. Captain, go through the departments you've got.
Con.
Con is go.
Ops.
That's Nevaeus.
Deflectors are stable, lateral sensors are clear, and transporters are operational. Ready for manoeuvring, Captain.
Tactic.
Tactical is go, Captain.
Engineering.
Engineering is go. Warp engine stable, ready to engage.
And
Science is no-go. Interference prevents a full scan. We may be flying into a blind spot. I have actions. I must choose. Rerun a deep tactical scan or ready the crew for possible engagement.
Your call.
Is this the thing where we
but
do
we weren't
Civilization
dating.
2 advisors and all start yelling at each other?
Time for a deep tactical scan. We can't work on no information.
Okie dokie, righto. Give me a moment. All right. So, if you're going to do a deep tactical scan, you are going to hang on.
Then and only then will you be allowed to make a decision to.
Sorry, you've actually got the wrong decision. You can recalibrate sensors. Sorry, I reused the wrong thing. Recalibrate sensors or analyze secondary data sources. Your call.
Analyze secondary data sources.
Okay, so that is your computers or data skill. Data.
Yeah, baby.
Data. Or is it data?
Oh crap! I don't seem to have it.
Okay.
But I have
Data.
lead hacker. May use science instead of security. Oh, that's for security.
Okay.
What do
Alright.
you do with security?
All right. So roll on your data skill.
I don't have data skill.
I think that's an
There's no
overlap of
data.
responsibility.
Actually,
on
can I
the
just
line.
ask before we move on? Does anybody have data or does anyone have computer skill?
Data.
Why the hell don't I have either of those? I don't.
I'm wondering if I actually put these into this
It's the
version.
future. Nobody has data skills.
I'm really good with computers and I have neither of those.
Okay, righto. So, can I have a look at what you've got?
I have meditation.
Okay. Oh, right, I know what I've done wrong. I called it academic in this one.
Oh, cool! I'm going to
Okay,
meditate.
roll on academic.
Yeah, baby.
Okay. Academic's not too bad.
I find a convenient corridor.
That's actually not too
Plus
bad.
one.
+1. That's 4.
Okay. You are able to recalibrate. You are able to analyze secondary data sources, and these give you enough assurance to feel like you are go.
We are go, Captain.
So you can
Does
flip
that,
it.
so that
So
means
you can flip it to the go side.
readings confirm an unstable warp signature, likely from a primitive civilization. Ready to proceed. I told you it was bloody telegraph.
Shall
Okay.
we give them a warning shot, milady? No, Parker. They've had all the warnings they deserve. Just mow them down as they come out the front doors.
My goodness gracious me.
Pretty much what
Okay.
happened in the episode.
Science officer, roll on science.
I do more science. Do science.
Science is not.
I did perfectly reasonable science. I did-
Okay, good. So turn it to success.
I have
Now, So, firstly, we have just after we've taken our warp jump into the system that we're supposed to be that's supposed to have this primitive signal. We have found that we have dropped into the densest asteroid field that any of you have ever seen.
Like in Star Wars, you know, like ludicrously dense.
Ludicrously dense. That's right. Exactly. See,
Gosh.
Like it never would happen in reality.
like would never happen in reality. Okay, so what do you see?
I have a good reading on the asteroids, and that can't possibly be right. Captain, the density of the asteroid field is off the scale.
Is it possible that it is being artificially maintained?
Okay, can you roll on
Let me
science?
check my little bit of paper.
Science.
On the Anderson scale of asteroid density,
It is dense.
it's beyond the highest
of 4.
rating.
Holy
Okay,
abudos, Batman.
You can't. From what you see that the asteroid field is extremely unusual, but there's nothing in it that actually tells you for sure whether it's artificial or not.
Okay.
I'm going with artificial because it's ridiculous. This wouldn't sustain itself for very long at all.
You are most welcome to conjecture
It's
away.
not on that asteroid field. That's the remains of a small planet.
That's how I feel about it.
Okay, now,
Now,
Captain.
We'd like
That's
to
no
do
moon.
science and actually check the momentum and directions of
We
these
just-
asteroids.
Okay, you can do that.
Whether it's consistent with
We
something
just
which is
accidentally
orbiting
stumbled
or
on
whether
Star
it
Wars
is exploding.
universe.
Okay, go for it.
A total of 4.
Okay, really, really good. You are seeing absolutely consistent with normal orbits.
Interesting. I shall
So
report this to
whatever has happened, it must have happened a very long time ago.
Okay.
What are they orbiting?
The sun, presumably.
There's this-
Okay, you have noticed one odd thing is that these asteroids seem to be orbiting a hyperdense planetoid.
Hyperdense.
Hyperdense. Okay.
Hyperdense.
Now, if you look at that planet, there's nothing on it that indicates that it is in any way a hospitable place to live.
None of this is making me think ancient civilization.
Are we talking neutron planetoid density?
Unless it's really ancient
Quite
and
possibly
extinct.
something like that. Yes. Neutron planetoid.
That's dense.
Very dense.
That's
So the
quite the
orbit.
gravity well, kiddies.
That is
Yes.
indeed a huge gravity well. And what you also notice is that the signal that you've got, the strange signature, is coming from the opposite side of the asteroid field. You need to go through that asteroid field.
Of course we do.
Why can't we
Captain,
go around it?
because you are a father figure,
Daddy.
Take it, Daddy.
Take.
you realise that this may be the moment for you to give your pilot that extra chance.
Can't we just go around it?
No, we can't. 'cause
What do you
it's
think
actually-
this is? Star Wars? You have to fly through the space spaghetti.
But it can't go on
Calms on
indefinitely.
Yes, it can.
Yeah,
Haven't you
I think
been
so.
Arms on our
ago?
tail, so we have to take refuge in the asteroid field.
I'll give you everything.
Hyperdense planetoid.
Oh, I see. It's all around it.
All around it. The signal is coming from here.
So how many people
You
do I have
are
on this
here.
ship that he's the only one who can fly it?
Well, he's not. You do have a pilot.
How good are they?
They're a new pilot.
Excuse
We don't
me?
know how good they are.
Captain,
Are
I would
they
like
as
to
good as him?
register my
Excuse me?
Okay,
question.
discuss it with your crew because if you can't convince them, it's probably
I'd
not
like to
something.
register my question. What basis are we actually following the signal? It's not an SOS that we're aware of.
Maybe there's a giant
our
pyramid at
ship
the end.
has been suffering from problems that are stressing out even my amazing abilities.
Yes, perhaps the
I
signal's a
don't-
warning.
I don't think we should go in unless there's an actual reason to do so, an urgent reason to do so.
Oh, then let's drop a boy and go back to him. I mean, we just have to take him back to court anyway, don't we?
There's evidence of a primitive civilization. We must go on.
How old is this primitive civilization?
If we find eggs, we should thrust our faces into
If we find
Good
things,
idea.
If there are aliens, maybe they can help me live forever.
Look in.
I'm always curious.
Is there any reason to believe that the time would take us to get back to Earth
Clearly,
would
this is
change
an
this
indication.
situation in any way, shape, or form?
Well, we don't even know what the situation is. We're just investigating in the
There is a subspace signal coming from what you're hearing on the other side of the asteroid field.
Oh yeah.
Okay. What you hear is a repeating pattern.
Help us, Hammer. You're our only hope.
You hear you hear a repeated pattern of 3 1-second pulses, followed by 3 3-second pulses, and then followed by 3 1-second pulses.
Is that SOS?
It sounds like it. To clarify, there is a slight difference between the ones in the middle and the ones on either end.
Yeah, well, slight. They're 3 times longer.
Mm-hmm.
So we now have an SOS.
Okay,
It's
now
an
we have a
all-
reason.
Now we have to go and investigate.
There was no
Alright.
reason to actually
It is peculiar that it's
expedite.
now. Is SOS signals even a thing that's still used in?
It would have been used a
In
long time ago, but it's
Federation.
possible there's someone there who
Yeah,
is,
yeah.
and-
In pre-warp
we've got
days,
that
when
record.
pre-warp ships could
There's-
travel zillions of light years for some
If-
bizarre reason, yes.
There's always somebody on the ship who knows primitive primitive Morse code because plot.
Okay.
Alpha Charlie Bingo.
That's the name of the ship. We'll find.
Well, we've got
The
to get
captain
through
was a pirate
It's an
enthusiast,
impossible thing to
And the
get
entire
through.
civilization
We
is
need
now
the best
based on
pilot.
16th century
Is there a better
pirates.
pilot than him
Awesome.
on board?
They hadn't invented Morse
I know,
code,
we should,
although they probably had some kind of flag signaling system.
Oh, but
You're-
they had
put it
1930s
this way,
technology.
Oh, I see.
But
you
the
don't
16th
have
century
anybody
pirates-
to fully replace him yet. That was one of the things you
Well,
needed
they
from
didn't
Earth.
embrace the bit hard enough.
Your
So he's the best pilot we've got.
best pilot we know of,
Abandoned
yeah.
Morse code. That's
There is a pilot who can do the job if he's
too
not there.
mundane.
Now,
Well,
Meta
You will not be
Weren't
ready on
indicating that there
21st
was
you on the
century
bridge
Rome
with me now?
planet.
no.
a
Yeah,
new
I'm on the
pilot
ship.
who were going to
I'm
test
on the
with
bridge.
Spurs?
I'm going to put him back on comm so
We
he
could
can
do
fly
that.
the ship through this.
I'm not sure that would be wise, Captain.
Why?
Well, he is a Romulan spy for beginners.
Yes, but he's also a Starfleet officer.
What a twist!
Only nominally. Let us not forget the Dreyfus affair.
Let's chain him.
I
to
forgot
the
about the
front.
Dreyfus affair.
Dreyfus?
With the lady back to front on the chair.
Exactly, sir.
No, that's a
What is the
different-
Dreyfus affair? Sorry, I don't even know.
He's referring to a thing I learnt in 2-unit modern history.
Oh, right, okay.
That was 19th century.
In
European
France, he was Jewish.
Okay, so at this
How long
point,
was he- how long were you on the ship before all these eventuated?
27 years.
Well, how long has it been since it was commissioned under Captain Rorschach's command? Since then.
You're Captain
Yeah, but he's
Rorschach.
an ensign, so he can't have been on here for very long.
You're the oldest ensign in Starfleet. No wonder you're a Romulan spy.
I wouldn't worry too much about the rank because that was mainly an accident of dice rolling.
Yes, I was going to say that was all dice
So again,
rolling.
how long have we known him?
You've known him long enough since he was here at the beginning of your adventures. So.
And is there any
Some of
other,
us have
other
known
than
him for
this
years.
thing? Is there any indication he meant any of us any harm at any point?
Well, I dated his daughter, so it definitely means me harm.
Yeah, but that's fair enough.
I believe that his taste in video nights is perfectly
It's one of the many legends lost to time.
He's the only one who can get us through the field.
The space.
Is there
beginning.
any other reason?
Why
you
are you
can
singing
think-
that at me?
Because I can't think of any other way of asking these questions. If,
You know,
do you
this all
have
seemed
any
this all seemed to
reason-
make much more sense when I wrote it down.
Do you have any reason to think him getting us through this field, given he's never endangered our lives before, is a problem?
Based on the logic that endangering our own lives, he will endanger his,
No.
and we'll keep him under guard.
Well, can you get him, bring him up to the bridge so he
Okay,
can fly the ship?
I'll send 4 people down there.
One for each
Limb.
limb.
Yes! You're right, I should send 5 for the head. 5 people go down there.
No, 5 for the head, 1 for each limb.
Oh, and 1 for each eye, just in
Yeah,
case.
yeah. I've lost track. That's 11, I think.
Okay, so Thalmec has been sent for.
Captain, it will be necessary to remove his manacles.
Why has he got manacles on?
I felt it was a just precaution under the circumstances. He is a dangerous spy.
I'm about to let him fly the ship! What's he got? Since when do we need people to be in manacles in a brig?
Is that
It's all right. We can put manacles on his legs. This is
Take-
the thing we
take-
used to do in the 20th
Take
century.
the manacles off and we'll talk about
is
this
this in,
later.
is this in violation of Federation
Yeah, there's about
regulations?
14 sections of Federation law he's just broken.
I'm enjoying this so
Take the
much right
manacles
now.
off him.
I do have another type of manacle made of fur. We have like fur
Why do you think he has to have manacles on?
unless he escapes
If you wear
Escapes from your brig?
the bridge. He won't get far with manacles.
No, that is true.
if he wears the
Why
furry
did he have them
manacles,
on in the brig?
he has to wear caddies with them. It's
Because
just the
he
rules.
might have escaped.
Because
Because
the manacles!
Because
Take the manacles off him.
yes, sir.
So the manacles have been removed before he says anything else. Okay, so why he was wearing manacles, I'm not entirely sure, but you know what? Let's go with that, shall we? So, you've given him a briefing about the situation, which is that there is a gigantic asteroid field between us and what we need to get to. So,
How you
Now-
feeling, champ? You feeling good?
I'm up on the bridge yet.
Can you? Yeah, you're here. You got no manacles on.
Oh.
Can you get us through this?
Alright, so I arrive on the
Have a
bridge.
look.
I arrive on the bridge rubbing my wrists.
So we've already had the briefing. He just said.
And I turn to you and go, it was either those or the fluffy ones.
It's a long story.
Oh,
You do get a daughter.
I don't have a daughter. He has a daughter.
Yes, you do
But
get
is
a
she
daughter.
really his daughter?
So we've already done the debriefing. Do you think
Yeah.
you can get us through the field?
Asteroids do not concern me, Captain.
Nice.
Even really dense ones?
Scientifically, if we go through this mega dense thing, is that any issue?
Okay, so the first thing that you see when you look at the scans of the asteroid field
Yep.
is you see that there are two distinct possibilities. You've got a wide but unstable path, which is less dense, but it's filled with gravitational eddies that could pull the ship off course. And you've got a narrow but predictable path, which
Yep.
is more obstacles
Yep.
but less gravitational interference. Which one do you prefer?
Give me the first one again.
Wide but unstable path, which is less dense, but it's filled with treacherous gravitational eddies. Or a narrow but predictable path with more obstacles but less interference.
So dense. Everything's just so dense.
Is this going to be a roll till we die situation?
Certainly touched a thing.
Roll to Lucas.
Okay. So, sitting in the con seat, I consider both of these things, and I turn around and look at the captain, and I say, Captain, it's either going to be wide and risky, or it's going to be narrow and potentially safer, but could scrape some paint off. Which would you prefer? I can fly both, but the wide one might have a few surprises.
I feel like he's got haircuts. I'll take the wide one then.
I
Which
have
do you
handcuffs
recommend?
Can I roll to see which one I would?
Yep, you can do that.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
fine.
So I'll just roll on my con.
Roll on your con, yeah. But you're going to be doing a con roll again very shortly.
Yeah,
so-
yeah, I know.
Why is it called a con?
Because that's
Control.
Oh, control.
the person who's running the... And it's a bit weird in naval terminology. The person who's controlling the ship is called con.
That, yes.
But the captain is the person who has the con. And I've never truly understood that.
That's -1.
It's
so-
because we're putting the dodgiest person.
So you got
So you're going for the second one?
Well, no, hang on. I get a 2 on my roll.
Okay, righto. All right,
I'm
so...
trying to decide which one to. Which
Okay,
one
so-
I could fly better. Since
Okay,
he's now given me the choice back.
okie dokie. Well, it's up to you. Well, I don't know why you were rolling, but you know.
I trust you. Go for it.
Captain wants to go wide, so I guess we'll go wide. I say to myself,
You give me
Okay.
your looks.
Now, this is your actual con roll. So
Okay.
you need to roll on con for this.
all right. So just before I hit the button, I kind of look around, and under my breath, I go, "What? No."
But
So-
can I pause
Yeah,
you
go.
for a moment? Remember, you're all on the bridge,
Yep.
which means if you see something that your department could actually help with, don't just stay there and do nothing. So, for example, if something happens that means shields are needed, that means that phasers could do something, that means that we need to bump up the power or something like that, don't say nothing. Just do. Let us know. Okay.
Am my memory correct? The Saxon's the one on shields.
Saxon's the one responsible for shields.
Yeah, I was just about to address him.
Okay, righto.
All right. So as I mumble under my breath, oh what? No
Can we put
sub-Centurion on the
more
bridge?
power to the forward deflectors?
Yeah, exactly.
Is our steering
Okay.
still imprecise?
You can give more power.
Popular joke.
Yeah, there was a,
Because I'm like almost equivalent of a captain. I didn't get a dress when I got on the bridge.
You want a dress?
No, a dress.
Sir, I can
You guys-
provide
you guys
him
are-
with a dress.
World's a dress.
You guys are so rude. Why do you have to be so rude?
I
Um,
prefer to think of it as racist.
the chief engineer has boosted power to the main deflector.
Great idea. All right.
So roll on con.
And the Romulan flips the switch. Right, so 0, so 3.
I
Three.
enjoy it.
Okay.
Going wide.
The chosen route is stable, and there is a consequence for your next roll, and it's a good consequence. Okay, so now the next thing, we are inside the field. There are clusters of fast-moving asteroid in here, which means the pilot needs to do some drifting and dodging. Once again, you have a choice. Your choice is short, precise maneuvers, which keeps the ship on course but requires some tight control, or you can do broad sweeping turns, which reduces the risk of collision but may push you off course.
Now, do we still have imprecise
No, I shoot
steering?
stuff, that's
Or
it.
has my
That's what I was about to suggest.
it's
You
my
can clear the
secondary
field a bit.
star mapping system currently keeping us
It's holding just nicely.
on? All right.
Can he
Yeah,
shoot
yeah.
some ship?
He can shoot some ship, yeah.
I will
Okay.
attempt to clear the field.
Okay, so roll on tactical.
That's great.
Interesting. +3.
+3. You get that gives the that makes things a little bit easier. Whichever one.
Picture of Clive Palmer. Did I go on?
We don't need a picture of Clive Palmer right now.
Oh my
There's a
god,
picture of
we got
Clive.
it anyway.
Unmodulate. He's using phasers.
We're already the navigational
Oh.
deflector is.
I could
is-
use
is
random
hot- is,
space
um,
mines and launch
has
them
more
in
energy in
random
it.
Don't do that.
Yeah, but he's using
Don't do that.
phasers for
Okay, well,
clearing the
It'll be
path.
like that. It'll be like when Boba
The
Fett
the
drops
use
on
of
the
phasers was
quantum
successful.
bombs in the asteroid field.
The use of phases is successful, which means you have a free re-roll at your next roll.
Yes.
Okay, so roll on con. Which one are you picking? Short, precise, or broad sweeping?
I was going to go broad sweep.
Broad sweeping it is. Okay, righto, and you need to roll on con. You're doing some
So
evasive
I
flying.
Unmodulate the phaser beams
Come on.
so that
3.
they hit the asteroids and form ablative rockets, jets, instead of exploding.
Well, you could do that, but right now that's unnecessary
Why
because
are
the
we
ship
throwing
dodges obstacles smoothly,
Why are we throwing
keeping
grenades
momentum
into an asteroid
going.
Field?
Okay. So
Okay,
Why are we throwing grenades into an asteroid field?
now
you were shooting asteroids.
you are
With
in.
phasers.
Yeah.
Now the good news is
Nobody
you've
was
got into
throwing-
an area which is nice
It
and
looked like there's a nut.
flat.
Oh, God, that's
The
great.
bad news is there seems to be a sensor blind spot here.
Shave that.
The lateral sensor arrays is temporarily overwhelmed by the interference you're getting from the asteroid. So the pilot now needs to decide: do you fly blind and trust your instincts and ship readings, rolling with a higher risk but no delay, or do you slow down and recalibrate, which will allow the science team to clear the interference but cost time?
We're responding to an emergency. I trust my instincts.
Okay.
I'm not sure it's an emergency.
I think
it
maybe-
could have been going on for
Well, what if it's
thousands of
not?
centuries.
What if it's not?
Also, he does have a re-roll at the moment because
Yeah.
of the sterling work
Yeah.
the tactical did.
We're just going to find nothing but skeletons.
Oh, maybe we'll find bloody Ron Coleman or whatever his name is.
No, good lord. So roll.
Roll through.
Come on, give me something good. Okay, 3.
I don't
Okay.
Know, I don't know who Ron Coleman is.
Gary Coleman, that's who I
Gary Coleman.
Yes.
Okay. Now, do you wish to re-roll or do you wish to?
Yes.
Why are we finding
No, I'm
Gary
happy with
Coleman?
3.
You're
My
happy
gut
with
instinct
three?
tells me I'm happy with
Rogers.
3.
Okay. The ship is nearly hit, which forces you to take emergency evasive action. So,
That's alright.
Roll again.
I live in emergency evasive actions.
Yeah.
Woot, woot, woot.
Everybody hang on to something.
Woot, 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 woot.
3.
Okay.
You're consistent.
It was just enough to avoid the obstacle. But now you are in the bottleneck. You are now into an area where you can see that getting through the next series of asteroids is going to be very difficult because there's a cluster of them. They're cluster type, and as you look at them, you realise that these asteroids aren't solid pieces of rock. They are actually effectively tightly packed gravel.
If I did a
Okay.
wide,
So
if I did a wide sweep phaser thing, could that lessen their density?
If you did a wide sweep phaser attack on them, you'd probably shatter them into thousands
Just
of
lots
pieces.
of tiny little
Now
bits of
that
gravel.
really hurt.
Can't we put them?
It'll take the paint off the Tamworth.
Yeah, we'll take the paint off the Tamworth.
Yeah, you chief engineer.
That'd be a
I
shield.
want to bathe them in ionising radiation, clumping them
That
together
solves
with electricity. No, actually, that would throw them apart. No, that would do the opposite. That was a good idea, but
It's a good thought.
I think it would depend a bit on their mineral composition.
Well, you could get
Forward
science to
shield.
help you with that.
If we
We
turn
have-
them
we've
all
got
into
them up.
magnets,
I
they
would
don't
look at
have
their
to
mineral
last.
composition.
We've got them up.
You want magnetic, not
Magnetic.
ferromagnetic.
Oh yeah, 2
Yes.
plus 2.
Yes.
ferromagnetic.
How's
would be
6 sound, Mr. Man?
Okay, you know immediately that idea would have caused absolute disaster.
fine. No, but we've just changed the idea.
What's your idea now?
We bathe them with a ferromagnetic radiation, forming them, causing them to clump together more.
Okay.
quickly.
I like that idea so much. I want it to be.
Hang on.
It was
Why
Simpson's idea.
do they clump together more?
Because if they're bathed in ferromagnetic radiation, it's like a magnet and pulls them together.
When we fly in between them, though, will they stick to us?
No, because the hull is not ferromagnetic.
Okay.
But they'll also stick together with each
Now, this works if they're made out of iron.
other. No,
Yes.
but that's our beam. It's just
Okay,
This is that
Roll on
Star Trek
ops.
hand wavy bullshit stuff.
Yes.
absolutely Star Trek hand wavy bullshit stuff.
Right.
So roll on
I've never got-
Star Trek bullshit hand wavy stuff.
I've never got the hang of it.
Roll on ops.
So why do we want to make a bigger object?
No, but rather than hold it a little object, so we've got like bigger clumps.
That way, when it hits us, it'll be like the
4 plus 2
Titanic.
is a total of 6.
Okay,
Oh,
because of
so-
that, in the next roll, the con officer gets not only does he get the chance to do a re-roll if he chooses, but he also gets an automatic +2.
Okay.
Okay, so the field funnels into a narrow passage, but the asteroids are unstable. You've got to decide. You can do steady and slow, which reduces the chance of impact, but gravitational shifts may trigger a collapse. Or fast and aggressive, clears the passage quickly but puts pressure on the ship's structural integrity.
Where's our
You know,
structural
we could-
integrity at the moment?
I can MacGyver a reason for why we could actually do the ferromagnetic thing.
You could, but
which is actually we fire an electron beam.
But you know what? If you do that, you're doing that because you that would mean that you were, improvising and overcoming, which really means you should be paying a pay point for that.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's alright.
that's fine. Pony up. Yep. Okay. Good. So yes.
So we to actually achieve the ferromagnetic effect, we actually fire off electron beams, which cause a current flow, which induces magnetism.
Excellent. Well done. So I'm actually going to give you, with that explanation, I'm giving you a +3.
Nice.
So now roll con, but be advised for this one you need a very good roll.
But I've got a bonus 3.
You got a bonus 3 and you got a re-roll if you don't start.
Oh, so what's that? So I got
Minus
-1, so to make it 2, 5.
5
Yeah.
is precisely enough. The ship clears the bottleneck flawlessly. Now we have the final search.
And this was the wide way.
The sudden obstacle, a massive asteroid shifts unpredictably, blocking your exit. The pilot has a split-second choice to make. Hard burn upwards to launch the ship over the asteroid, or drift below. Cuts the engine briefly to slide underneath.
I'll slide underneath it.
You'll slide underneath, great. So you're rolling on an emergency maneuver, which is what that is. You've still got your re-roll to play.
Okay. Ooh, 3, 5.
Success. The ship emerges from the field unscathed. The ship exits smoothly and precisely with no damage whatsoever.
It's one of the doy people.
And Thalmec
But
has...
that dive, huh? How many people like shat themselves as we went that close to the asteroid?
Vulcans
Yeah.
do not shit themselves.
Don't they?
No, it's why they're
Saxon.
tight.
It's now an aspect, man.
No, it's not.
No,
It totally
that's
should be.
calm in the face of danger, thank you very much.
But you could actually put that Vulcans don't shit themselves.
You are very complex, sir.
Or
Anyway.
to rephrase that,
Yeah.
Vulcans don't get the shits.
That's true too.
Vulcans give the shits.
But because I know you so well, I've seen you've gone just a little bit greener.
Yep, okay.
Okay.
They're cool, yes.
Alright, as the Tamworth clears the last obstacles, sensors detect anomalous metallic debris drifting beyond the field. The pieces are scorched, twisted, and aged, suggesting they've been here for a little while.
And we recognise what type of ship it is from
Okay,
the
science, tactical, and ops. I need all of you rolling.
Ooh, no. But yeah, I got 3.
What am I rolling on?
Science.
No, dear.
Oh, come on, you're the science dude.
Oh, dear.
What have you done?
Oh, dear.
Failed science.
Have you blown up
But
the
if you're,
science
if
console?
you're a curious, cheerful scientist,
You are.
you might be able to pay a fate point and re-roll.
Oh, yes.
You're curious about the little metal things floating in space.
Oh, very curious.
Why so curious?
Oh, that's
0.
So 0 is better than -3, I
That
can
is
tell
true.
you. That would be a 4.
Okay, righto. You detect that there are unusual alloy compositions which are different from standard Federation or any known alien materials.
You what now?
Unusual alloys. There you go.
Unusual alloys, I think they've been invented by Sauron.
Tactical, what did you get?
We've reinvented
I
Mithril.
got 3.
Okay, you got good. So you've detected that there are faint residual energy signatures which are possible remnants of weapons fire or reactor failure. You can't tell which. Ops, how did you go?
Total of 5.
Oh, brilliant. Sensor readings are stabilised after the turbulent asteroid passage and you've cleared up all interference. You are very confident about all our results. Okay, so the debris coalesces into a more recognisable structure. It is a large, mangled alien vessel. Its hull half shattered and engulfed in deep fractures.
Doesn't look like a giant ear bone, does it?
Maybe. Go find some eggs and look in them, Lomax.
Oh,
From the
Okay, so what I want you to do is to talk and tell me what sorts of analysis you want to do on it.
well, I wish to do an analysis to try and determine was it actually hit by weapons fire or was it hit by one of these asteroids.
Okay, roll on science.
+1 for a total of 4.
Okay, some damage suggests external weapons fire, but inconclusive. It might be consistent with atmospheric reentry stress or with some other kind of impact damage.
I'm going to
It's
play
very hard
against.
to tell.
I want to play against type and do an academic history roll.
Okay, go ahead.
Bugger. No, I got -2.
-2.
Nope, I know nothing.
Well, okay, so what I'm going to say here is the ship's design does not match any previously encountered warp-capable species. But that said, you weren't really able to find much that was consistent with that kind of... So, whilst you don't think it's something we've encountered before, you're not all that confident with your estimate.
Yes.
What about the Romulan Empire, if we ever encountered it?
Okay, roll for academic. What's your academic? Do you have
I
academic?
don't have academic.
Okay, so
So
just rolling on 0.
Rolling on 0? Okay. 0.
Okay.
No.
Again, you're not 100% sure, but it doesn't look like anything you've seen before. and you're fairly sure you haven't seen anything like this.
Are we still hearing SOS?
Yes, there is a. You're still getting a message from the from a piece of the ship.
Can we beam it on board?
I recommend not doing that since we have no idea how big it is or what it is.
We must go on. We
can
must
stand it.
look.
Well, the good news is you've
actual
actually
little pieces.
you've actually got a.
description.
An SOS won't be coming from a little piece.
There's a few large pieces. There's a few little pieces.
How is it that a completely alien ship
Yes.
used an ancient Earth distress signal?
Okay, so
Maybe it's a quinky dink.
can somebody roll for science?
What?
I am.
Who's got the best science?
The science officer, Robert?
Ooh, quite an amazing idea.
Winky dinked.
Oh my god, did your brain just explode?
Oh, that's a perfect.
Oh,
That's a perfect double
What?
for a knuckle.
what science?
Unfortunately, because you were
Is that an automatic aneurysm?
because you were easily distracted, you didn't get anywhere with that roll.
And thus
Okay,
sideways
You
moving
just
form.
you were trying to get a good analysis of the signal you're getting, but while you were doing that, you noticed that the ship's the debris very coincidentally formed the shape of some writing in the Bantu language, which
Distracted me completely.
distracted you completely and was fascinating, but it wasn't really any use.
Are you,
I shall
are
roll
you down in
science
engineering or
using
you up
my
in Brisbane?
intuitive xenotechnologist bonus.
I'd turn around to you and say, what an ghastly is you being?
Total of 4.
Yeah, we did.
What- sorry, what are you rolling on?
My science using the intuitive xenotechnologist bonus.
You're intuitive xenotechnologist. Okay.
I could have used my rock jockey bonus before.
Rock jockey.
Rock jockey.
Rock jockey.
I like rocks.
Hang on.
A ship is not a rock.
Rock.
I know a ship is not a rock, but those asteroids were rocks, though, weren't they?
Well,
Yeah,
didn't
you would have
need to-
detected
Okay.
that they were asteroids.
Right.
Yes.
One thing that you notice about this spacecraft is that it does have an unusual pattern of minerals.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same pattern that he has, but you are convinced that if you scan all the planets in the local area, you might be able to locate which particular planet it came from.
Okay.
And this would be something that would work with a long-range scan.
I shall relate this information to the captain and then proceed with doing that long-range scan.
Okay. Long-range scan. That's a science thing. The
I know what
science staff can add extra help to them.
What?
Okay. So would it be better for me to help him or for him to help me?
Probably you to help him. Although it depends on after.
What's happening?
We're doing a long-range scan. We believe that the unique minerals in the alloy of the broken ship, we can do a long-range scan to determine which planet in this system it comes from.
Oh, can I use my rock jockey bonus?
You can indeed. Yes.
How do I actually do the assessment?
Well, what I would suggest is if he rolls, I'm happy for you to give him extra fate die.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's 5.
5. That may not be necessary.
Okay.
Okay. Yes. You have immediately identified a Class M planet, which is a short distance away, within a short warp hop.
All right.
Okay.
Or bloody forever on impulse.
And
Lucky we have war.
lucky you have warp,
we
yes.
go.
Well,
Will we meet someone named Dorian?
English. You should try English.
now when you are doing it with this,
Hello, I'm
readings
Dorian.
are inconclusive. Readings are inconclusive, but you do think you see some signs of civilization on the planet.
Blip, blop, blap.
Dorian!
Blip.
It would appear that you are heading into a first contact situation.
Crikey, Mikey. Now,
Yeah.
Yes.
do we
Now,
need
before
to...
we do anything else,
Yes, yes.
as the bridge crew are absorbing the implications, a subspace radio message arrives.
Space pigeons.
Okay. Captain Rorschach, you see the face of Fleet Admiral Mturi, the most senior Caitian in Starfleet. Do you have a moment to talk? I think this might be something you want to take in private.
Yep.
I hate it when his girlfriend rings.
I hope you don't say that out loud.
Okay. You go into the ready room.
Should we all leave?
Admiral Nturi.
Are we all in the ready room?
We can't be.
We're on the
Okay.
bed. Let's follow you to
Your
the
characters
room.
aren't hearing what you're about to hear, but you guys are, meta-wise.
Gamey.
Inside the ready room, Admiral Nturi
Just all up
looks uncomfortable and delivers the unexpected news. Captain Rorschach, upon completion of your mission, the USS Tamworth will be decommissioned. She served well, but Starfleet has decided to reallocate resources. You and your crew will receive reassignment orders in due time. The Tamworth is being retired.
Cool, we're going to do
This
Quark.
mission may be your last together as a crew.
Let's go rogue.
Let's go back in time and get whales, bitches!
Now, what time is it? It is
9.
9. I'm sorry, that didn't take as long as I thought it would with you guys.
That's alright. I'm really tired tonight. I'm quite happy to end early.
Okay, so that's where we finish for this evening.
What are we going to do with the Tamworth, Captain? Back in time, dive it into a planet. There's heaps of ways it can go out.
We go rogue. We leave the Federation.
Can we separate the sources section?
We sail this. We sail the briny seas.
Have a look at the design.
And if not, I reckon I can.
Hoist the Jolly
Have a look at the
Roger.
design of the Oberth class. Good luck with
We
separating that
find a
source.
pre-contact civilization and introduce an entire society of space Thebans to them.
We become their gods.
Yes,
Yeah, maybe we could just live on the first
we can wear
contact map.
togas and nothing else.
What is there to go back
The
for now?
cheat sheets, obviously, we keep. What about the rest of the paperwork?
Okay, so your campaign factors you keep because that's obviously a
Thebans.
this only that's an aspect usable only during this campaign.
Campaign factor. That's this one.
Yep.
I could have used that. Never
I
mind.
need to get myself another folder or clean this crap out.
Well, that's the thing, guys. As
There's another tape.
Dr. Dave has just observed, do keep an eye on your aspects because you can use them sometimes.
Well,
I will
no.
try and remind you
No,
occasionally.
you have to save them up forever, just in case something happens.
Well, as you guys saw tonight, that was actually really good because you guys were using the fate points like you're supposed to.
That's right. You need to
Their currency, they're not an emergency hoard. Does that kind of make sense to everyone?
gather all the dingleberries and
Do we just put our fate points in that folder?
Yes, put your fate points in your folder. That's a good idea.
I simply wrote down the number of the total.
No, just put it. And then remembering, which we can't do.
And if I can have my fate dice back, please.
I was going to put them in the folder.
I can't do remembering. You know I can't. Remembering's not my strong suit.
Remembering, there you go. I'll never get them out of here
This
now.
is why I
Gone
write
forever.
notes.
Gone forever.
You have no
That's alright, just leave in the middle of the table. People won't move them for 2 weeks. They'll be exactly where we left them.
Thank you very much, guys. I enjoyed your
Here we go.
what's the word I'm looking for? Your engagement this week. It was very good. Thank you.
Participation.
I'm sorry, I'm sounding like a teacher.
There,
Everyone's going to get a star on their chart this week.
Oh.
10 out of 10 and a koala stamp.
Exactly.
Koala? Where koala?
Yeah, look.
Okay, whose fate points are those?
I don't know. Who's fate point? Somebody. I
They're
think somebody.
probably
Are they
right.
yours, Cap? Are they Ray's?
tedious.
It's going to be the best role-playing game ever in the role-playing
pass over
game
the-
universe.
Could you pass over these dice, please?
There you go, guys.
Tedious.
The role-playing game you've been waiting for.
What is it?
Terraforming Mars.
Terraforming Mars, the
More
RPG.
exciting than a
RPG.
It's
farm
going to be
playing.
an RPG.
So we're going to stop playing.
Terraforming.
We're
Okay.
going to stop playing.
We're
Curse
going
of
to
Strahd.
play this for the next 20 years
We
before we get back to
can't
Strahd.
stop playing Curse of Strahd. It's too good.
Okay, Romulan Agent Story Factor, you might want to keep that.
Launching in 13 days. Oh yeah, I've got to put that on. Have a look. It could be.
How do they come? Mars doesn't have a magnetosphere. Any atmosphere they put on it will be stripped away in only a few
Okay, I don't want
thousand
to play
years.
it anymore.
You just have to make it denser.
There'll be ancient
That's
alien
not going to stop the
ruins,
solar wind
and
from
Zed
fiddling it away.
Gov will like be really nasty.
I don't understand what you just said, but it sounds so
They
cool.
obviously
It'll
have
be
to
oppressive and
install
It's supposed to be
ongoing
a world-
atmosphere
think of a world
generators
designed by
to keep
Elon
the
Musk.
atmosphere the same.
No, don't say such a thing.
This is major league hand waving pseudo tech.
Peter, I'm going to leave the master display and
Did
the
you get a terraforming Mars?
You know his autistic child is now in charge of Mars at this point in that game.
So,
He still acts exactly the same, but he's 105.
I'm
Terraforming
honestly
Mars
not sure.
is a game to experience exploration, research, and struggle against the elements where you will participate in the greatest feat of humankind, the conquest of Mars. Oh, the video's private. I can't see the video.
So what's the name of the Kickstarter?
The secret terraforming Mars.
Terraforming Mars. I'll
Don't
try and
worry.
remember that and have a
Back,
look.
backer kit. I don't even think I've ever bought anything through backer kit. I mean, backer kit.
Yes, I bought things through Kit. It's worked out. Okay.
It's worked out alright.
I know there's
I
a
don't
couple
know.
of Kickstarters I've participated in which have used Backer Kit.
How many books does it have?
All of them.
It's like 3 now.
Oh, looks like there's a box thing and there's one little. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I'll just see what in 13 days. See what they've. You know.
I must say I love the board game, but I don't really
love
see
it.
it as a
No, I'm interested in
Role-playing
how would
game.
they do it as an RPG. That's what I want to say.
What are you doing, Peter, with that meteorite? Nothing!
I presume
Incoming!
you hug your PhD.
yes, I
Yeah,
do.
he is.
Took me a while to figure that out.
Because how does sometimes it's actually your girls who told me this. How is sometimes your surname pronounced?
Hughes, but Huggies. Yes.
Huggies. So I said, why don't you be Hug You PhD as a play on his last note? Okay, I thought it was fun.
I thought it was funny too. And also, I might add.
I
might
got a
add-
random friend request from Hug Your PhD.
Or is this Facebook?
No, this is Board Game Arena where we're playing board
Oh,
games
Board
without
Game
you
Arena.
because you refused to join. So you know
So
you don't
I'm a
play.
loser.
Yes, I'm glad you've realised it.
I'm sad loser.
Yeah.
I
And
lose.
you could still play. We would welcome you with open arms, but you choose not to.
Someone stole my computer. I would have to go back.
Yeah, because you got your monitor back now, so you could play.
That's it.
And then join us on Board Game Arena. We're playing Terraforming Mars. We're playing
I've actually
Ticket to Ride. We're playing
Heat.
Heat. Oh, Heat's been fun. Except, Tim, because he didn't win the first 2 games, he's cried and left us. He won't play Heat anymore. And I'm like, why'd you quit our game? And he's like, there's too many people. I'm like, you freaking sook.
Don't ever
Okay.
introduce us to
I'm not.
others.
I'm not.
He's really putting a shine on this. It makes you.
Tim! His name is Tim!
Oh, God.
Too many
Have I
people.
never met Tim before? Have I?
You haven't seen
Sorry? Yeah.
it. He prefers Wingspan, so I just play Wingspan with him.
Wingspan!
Yep, that.
I like everything about Wingspan except Wingspan.
What? That doesn't even make sense.
Just to
I will
me.
say with the
You can play Wingspan with us.
with terraforming Mars,
Oh, God almighty said. Oh, sorry.
with terraforming Mars,
Yeah.
the
I love Terraforming
I
Mars.
love it. I love the game.
Oh, good.
I'm just thinking that with the asynchronous playing,
Yeah.
the what do you call it? The draft rule.